The following production is presented by League Info Site and the Credit Union Broadcast Experience, QTV.
Hello, thank you for joining me. I'm Sean Wilbert with the CU Compliance Connection by InfoSite. Today we are going to focus on new requirements for the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, or COPPA, which was enacted by Congress in 1998. COPPA required the Federal Trade Commission to issue and enforce regulations concerning children's online privacy. The Commission's original COPPA rule became effective on April 21st of 2000. In 2012, the Children's Online Privacy Act was amended to provide greater protections for children under age 13 in our ever-changing internet world. The new rules are effective July 1st, 2013. The primary goal of COPPA has been to give parents control over what information is collected online from their young children. The rule was designed to protect children under age 13 while addressing the dynamic nature of the internet. You must comply with COPPA rules if your website or mobile apps are directed to children under age 13 and collect, use, or disclose personal information from children, and your credit union has knowledge that they are collecting, using, or disclosing personal information from children under age 13. I want to point out here that the focus is on collecting, using, or disclosing children's information. Any one of these actions requires you to follow the COPPA rules. This is not an all-inclusive and requirement. The rule also applies to websites or online services that have actual knowledge that they are collecting personal information directly from users of another website or online service directed to children. We need to review what COPPA considers personal information, which according to the rules includes any one of the following: first and last name, a home or other physical address, including the street name and city, online contact information, a screen or username that functions as online contact information, a telephone number, a social security number, a persistent identifier like an IP address that can be used to recognize a user over time and across different websites or online services, a photograph, video, or audio file where such file contains a child's image or voice, geolocation information sufficient to identify street name and city, or information concerning the child or the parents of that child that the operator collects online from the child and combines with an identifier described above. Again, your credit union only needs to collect one type of information on a child under age 13 from this list to have collected personal information that is regulated by the Children's Online Privacy Act. It is important for me to point out that the rule governs the online collection of personal information from children by a credit union, even if the children volunteer the information or are not required by the operator to input the information to participate on the credit union's website or service. The rule also covers credit unions that allow children to publicly post personal information. The Federal Trade Commission also made it clear that in the amended rule that the passive tracking of children's personal information through a persistent identifier, and remember at that point we're talking about IP addresses and similar items such as that, and not just its active collection, also is covered by the COPPA rule. The rule has several requirements if information is collected from or about children. In the event the credit union does collect personal information, they must post a clear and comprehensive online privacy policy describing their information practices for personal information collected online from children, provide direct notice to parents, and obtain verifiable parental consent before collecting personal information online from children. Give parents the choice of consenting to the collection and use of the child's information while prohibiting the operator from disclosing that information to third parties, unless disclosure is integral to the site or service, in which case this must be made clear to the parents. Provide parents access to their children's personal information to review and/or have the information deleted, and to give parents the opportunity to prevent further use or online collection of a child's personal information. maintain the confidentiality, security, and integrity of the information they collect from children, including taking reasonable steps to release such information only to parties capable of maintaining its confidentiality and security. And finally, retain personal information collected online from a child for only as long as it is necessary to fulfill the purpose for which it was collected, and then delete the information using reasonable measures to protect against its unauthorized access or use. In addition, the COPPA rule prohibits operators from conditioning a child's participation in an online activity on the child providing more information than is reasonably necessary to participate in that activity. The Federal Trade Commission has provided guidance in the event your credit union's website or mobile apps are not in compliance with the rules. They advise that first, until the credit union gets its website or online service into compliance, it must stop collecting, disclosing, or using personal information from children under age 13. Second, carefully review the credit union's information practices and online privacy policy. In conducting the review, look closely at what information is collected, how it is collected, and how it is used. Whether the information is necessary for the activities on the site or online service, and whether the credit union has adequate mechanisms for providing parents with notice and obtaining verifiable consent, whether there are adequate methods for parents to review and delete their children's information, and whether the credit union employs adequate data security, retention, and deletion practices. The Federal Trade Commission provides educational materials to help credit unions understand and comply with the COPPA rules. This information is available in the Children's Privacy section of the FTC's Business Center. They also provide special materials for mobile apps titled Marketing Your Mobile App, Getting It Right from the Start. These materials can provide you with helpful guidance in making sure you meet the COPPA requirements by July 1st, 2013. Thank you for joining me to review the Federal Trade Commission's Children's Online Privacy Protection Act rules. Please stay tuned to the Compliance Connection by InfoSite, only on Cube TV.
Thanks for watching the #1 compliance program for the credit union community. Stay tuned.